For me, Christmas is not complete without a chocolate cake. In fact, any festive celebration has got to have chocolate for me. I have a really sweet tooth and I love my dessert. But the reason I love this chocolate cake is that it's actually good for you. So you don't need to feel any guilt when you're eating it, in moderation of course, but it makes a really nice alternative to the traditional Christmas pudding or anything else that you might be having. The reason I love it so much is that it has dark chocolate. So when you're using this, you want to be aiming for the greatest concentration possible, 85% or 100% cacao if you can. And you can buy that now from a range of different supermarkets. You also want to be making sure that it's as organic as possible. So why is it so good for you? Well, the reason is that it's packed full of lots of antioxidants, which are really beneficial in terms of looking after your sperm and your egg, and various different processes within the body that are also regulating your hormones. But the other reason is that dark chocolate also contains something called arginine, which gets converted to nitric oxide. And that's important when it comes to dilating your blood vessels in the body. In particular, we're interested in the blood vessels around the endometrium or the lining of the womb, because that's where implantation is going to occur. The blood vessels around the ovaries, which is where the eggs are going to be released. And also it improves the dilatation and the blood flow towards all of the muscles in your body. So it generally helps to make you feel more alert and better. It's just healthier for you. The reason why white chocolate and milk chocolate are not as good is that they tend to contain a lot more sugar, a couple more additives and fat as well. So if you're making the choice about which chocolate to use, you definitely want to be steering towards the dark chocolate end. But even this can only be eaten in moderation, because if you eat too much, that's no good for you either. So be sensible about it. I know it's Christmas, but you are allowed a treat, just not a huge amount. The other great ingredient that's gone into here is seasonal, and that's chestnuts. So I'm completely obsessed with chestnuts at the moment. I love them roasted in the oven. I love them as pureed, which is how we're using the chestnuts in this recipe, puree or cream. And then I also have another recipe, which is the chestnut en croûte, where we make a mushy, lovely mixture in place of meat inside the actual en croûte. So you can use them in a whole range of different ways. But in this particular one, we're going with the puree or cream just to add that little bit more sweetness to it. The other ingredient that is also beneficial is egg. So we've got 3 eggs going into here. Most of us are aware that eggs are generally good for you. They contain the good monounsaturated fats, as well as vitamins D and E. Again, which are really important in terms of helping to look after sperm and eggs. And monounsaturated fats are the better fats to have that help various different processes in the body when it comes to your metabolism. So, without further ado, let me show you how to make it. So mix 120 grams of melted chocolate into 500 grams of chestnut puree or chestnut cream, and then 120 grams of melted butter in with that. And then we're going to add 3 egg yolks to the mixture, going in like that. You want to separate your eggs beforehand and keep the whites in a separate bowl. Make sure the chocolate that you're adding to the chestnut cream and puree cools down to room temperature before you mix them together. So add a pinch of salt to the egg whites you've already divided from the 3 eggs. And then you're going to get ready to whisk all of this up. You want to get to the stage of stiff peaks, and then just lightly add in your egg white mixture and just fold it through and mix. Pour it straight into a tin, a baking tin that's round and that you've pre-greased with some butter and added some baking parchment to, or paper, and then in it goes just like that. This is my favorite bit. Just make sure that everything is nice and even around here, and then it's ready to put in the oven 200 degrees Celsius for 35 minutes. There you have it, a delicious chocolate cake that's actually good for you, that you can have at Christmas and after, and enjoy all of its deliciousness feeling guilt-free.